America's trusted voice for news. News Radio 1120 KMOX. KMOX HD, St. Louis. CBS News, I'm Frank Sedapani. A report that came out a short time ago. This is CBS News.
KMOX News Time is 8:03. Good morning, I'm Doug McKelvin.
And I'm Debbie Monterey. It is sunny and 32 degrees, feels like 24.
So was it a boondoggle or a big idea that just fell short? KMOX's Kevin Killeen updates us on the more than 2-year effort to woo China to set up an international cargo hub at Lambert Airport, creating jobs and focusing world attention on St. Louis.
5 weeks in a row without a plane landing from China. Is China hub dead?
No, I don't think the hub idea is dead.
China Hub Commission Chairman Mike Jones keeping the faith after taxpayers have shoveled $3.5 million into promoting the plan. Jones blames the lackluster start on a dramatic drop-off in Chinese exports worldwide. But aviation consultant Michael Boyd of the Boyd Group says, give it up.
But the whole concept to start with was dead on arrival. It's one of those things that is enough flim-flam to get people excited, but the reality is it will never happen. You're wasting your money.
With more on the future of China Hub, let's go live to KMOX's Brett Bloom at Lambert Airport.
But Kevin, the only jets taking off here are passenger planes. As you pointed out, it's been more than a month since the last China cargo flight landed here. We asked Governor Jay Nixon why, with so much potential economic development at stake, Missouri hasn't been able to close the deal on a China hub at Lambert.
I think I don't spend a lot of my time on postmortem about why things don't work. I focus on what using the assets that we have to move forward. I mean, that'd be questioned better placed to folks that didn't put it on my desk rather than to me.
As for the would-be architect of this deal, Commission Chair Mike Jones, he told us, quote, I may be dead by then, but a China hub will be established in St. Louis within 10 to 15 years. Reporting live at Lambert Airport, Brett Bloom, News Radio 1120, KMOX.
A different type of Chinese business deal has handed the town of Moberly a $39 million debt.
Now, Missouri's Director of Economic Development is defending his role while being grilled by state lawmakers for failing to do a full background check on the company in question. KMOX's Capitol Bureau Chief Phil Brooks has the latest.
The department's director is David Kerr. He effectively told a House committee it would be a waste to do a complete investigation, including a criminal background investigation of the Chinese firm Mamtech that ultimately abandoned Moberly.
It is an inefficient use of tax dollars to do a criminal background check on the CEO of GM or Ford or any other publicly traded company that wants to create jobs and wants to invest in Missouri.
Ironically, the failure of Kerr's department to do a full background investigation caused a bit of embarrassment for Missouri's governor. It occurred when a tax break deal Jay Nixon had announced in southeast Missouri was withdrawn after Kerr's department discovered the developer had lied about his criminal background.
The finger-pointing continues in St. Louis County's budget battle as well. Yesterday, we told you about County Executive Charlie Dooley questioning Council Chair Steve Stenger's understanding of the budget process. And now Stenger, a CPA and tax attorney, says this of Dooley.
I don't think that there's an educational background. I think Charlie graduated from high school. I don't think he has any specialized training.
Stenger doesn't believe Dooley's forecasts of a $26 million shortfall and opposes Dooley's plan to close or sell half of the county's parks. He was a guest of KMOX's Mark Reardon.
They've done enough begging in their lives.
They are abused women allegedly turned away from the Kathy J. Weinman shelter because they didn't live in St. Louis County.
The idea or the thought that the women and children who were abused would be the first ones thrown overboard is frankly disgusting to me.
Alan Baker, among those pushing the St. Louis County Council to take immediate action. He was told that women are not being denied help because of where they live and that a special hearing is scheduled to make sure it never happens in the future.
There are reports this morning that Missouri is being targeted as a possible home for a horse slaughter plant that would allow the meat to be sold over the counter.
KMOX's Brian Kelly tells us that despite the outcry, slaughtering horses for human consumption became a possibility again after President Obama quietly signed a funding bill into law.
That's because in the funding bill was a provision lifting a ban on horse meat inspections, which could clear the way for slaughterhouses. Republican Senator Roy Blunt says slaughtering is a humane option.
Horse slaughter is an appropriate way for some horse owners to decide that it's time for that horse's life to be ended in, frankly, a much better way than many horses are dying today.
But Democratic Senator Claire McCaskill says horses are not cattle.
I am not aware of the raising and developing of horses for human consumption. as a major economic part of our agribusiness world.
A horse slaughterhouse would send most of the meat to Asia and Europe.
From slaughtering horses to saving pets, nearly 100 animals rescued from a so-called rescue shelter in the Ozarks.
40 dogs, 52 other animals, including doves, parrots, hamsters, cats, and rabbits, taken from a woman's home near Branson.
None of the kennels had roofs on them. They were all dirt floored. There was feces throughout the kennels, no water visible. There was food plates that were on the ground, however, they were empty.
Mike Perkins, assistant director of the Animal Cruelty Task Force, says the inside of the home smelled of urine. The woman claimed to be running a rescue service, and Perkins thinks she just lost control over the situation.
And a blanket. Yeah.
The animals are recovering at the Missouri Humane Society in St. Louis and will hopefully be up for adoption soon. Michael Calhoun, News Radio 1120 KMOX.
When it comes to illegal drugs, a report out this week says Kansas City is the distribution hub for the Midwest, but St. Louis is right there in second place.
A federal report shows that the Mexican drug cartels have set up shop in St. Louis to sell cheap heroin, but the DEA is working to cripple them.
Acting agent in charge James Strobel was clear about who the enemy is.
We have a tremendous heroin market that is saturated by high purity, low price, Mexican manufactured heroin.
Strobel speaks at community meetings about the heroin epidemic. He says parents too often tell him of the real damage.
They would all say to you, in large numbers, we never saw it coming. We were engaged with our kids, or at least we thought we were. We never saw this coming.
Carol Daniel, News Radio 1120 KMOX.
He says efforts to put a stop to the violent drug trade is bearing fruit, evidenced by recent arrests of dozens of heroin dealers.
KMOX News Time is 8:10. Coming up, a local eye doctor notices a big jump in pink eye.
Let's get you updated on the ride in. Captain Rajan Braden joins us from the Dobbs Tire and Autos Airborne 1.
Well, the good news is, Debbie, like I said, at the top of the hour, the accident's been cleared on westbound up in the area there as well. What else do we need to know about, Scott?
Well, in South County, they're still dealing with that crash block in the two right lanes of westbound 255 at to 270. I'm Scott Percato in the KMOX Dobbs Tire and Auto Airborne 2.
And let's get an update on that first day of December forecast from Weather Channel meteorologist Jeff Marr.
Well, dry weather as we start off the month. Some sunshine this afternoon with a high right now 32 both at Lambert and downtown at the Arch. I'm Jeff Marr from the Weather Channel on your official weather station, News Radio 1120 KMOX.
KMOX News Time is 8:12. Attention parents, a local eye clinic is reporting the St. Louis region experiencing what they're calling an alarming increase in cases of pink eye.
Where normally we'd see about one a week, we're seeing anywhere between 10 to 20 cases a week of pink eye.
This is John Butler in the newsroom. Dr. Ranjan Malhotra of Ophthalmology Associates says many of the patients are adults, not just children, and it is contagious.
This type of virus could live on inanimate objects. So it could live on like on a telephone, like if someone uses a phone who has had pink eye.
Malhotra says this strain is viral, so it can't be treated with antibiotics. It takes about 2 to 3 weeks to run its course.
From the KMOX Buick GMC business desk, Illinois' Shad Khan, after failing to buy the Rams, is now buying the Jacksonville Jaguars. And that's got sports analysts wondering if the Rams move to L.A. and Khan brings home the St. Louis Stallions. KMOX's Chris Kerber notes that both teams are currently playing in older facilities.
Teams, kind of holding cities hostage, whether it be for arena deals as they used to do, whatever it may happen. It's almost at the time in this game of poker where it's time, I think, for cities to start calling some bluffs.
The main way for the Jaguars to break their lease is if they lose money for 3 years. The team is having attendance problems.
Now is the time to nominate your favorite female volunteer for the Women of Achievement Award. Nomination forms are available at WOASTL.org, or you can always go to KMOX.com/events.
Give you an update on Blues hockey and more with sports director Tom Ackerman in 2 minutes. KMOX News Time is 8:13.
Support the Toys for Tots campaign with KMOX, the Marines, and locally owned U-Gas Convenience.